Those of us in the southern plains have some advantages over our friends that raise cows in the northern plains, and that is that we have some choices in terms of calving seasons, when we breed the cows and when we calve the cows. You see, here in the southern plains, we have the capability of breeding, as we are right now during the springtime, to have calves come anywhere from late January through March. Or we can choose a fall calving herd where the breeding season might start in very late November, go through December and a part of January, and that gives us calves that come in September and October. The other option that we have that certainly I don't think most in the northern plains have, and that is to choose both calving seasons, dividing the herd in half, having both a spring and a fall calving operation. There are some pros and cons to having two calving seasons versus one. Some of the advantages come in terms of reduced bull costs. You see, we can use the same bulls twice and therefore need half as many bulls as we would as if we were breeding all the cows in the same breeding season. For instance, if we have an 80 cow herd and we're going to put out two bulls with 40 cows, then we can use the same two bulls in the spring calving season and the fall breeding season, and therefore use half as many bulls and reduce that cost considerably. We still, of course, must take really good care of those bulls in between those breeding seasons so that they're ready every 6 months, instead of those that can have a good part of the year off and can lose some condition, and then we can regain it if we're just using them one time of the year. The other thought that goes through our mind in terms of having two calving seasons instead of one is spreading out the marketing of the calves. And that means that we might be able to sell calves at two different times of the year to avoid any ups and downs, volatility in the cattle market, which certainly we're too well acquainted with here of recently. Now, if we take advantage of that, I think we also want to remember that we need to have that minimum of about 80 cows for our herd so that we can put together a package of calves, both in the fall and in the spring when we market them, of at least about 20 calves, so that we have 20 calves that can go to the market at the same time. They're the same weight, they're same sex, they've been treated the same in terms of health requirements. All of those are identical. Buyers like to put together packages of calves rather than buying them just a few at a time. Disadvantages, of course, come from the fact that we have to have extra pastures in order to keep those cattle separated by their part in the production year that they're in. We also, of course, must consider the labor requirements. We've got two calving seasons when we have to be out there watching heifers and cows to make sure that they get the assistance that they need. For fall calving situations, that often conflicts with wheat planting. It's hard to be two places at once if you're needing to get the wheat planted and watch those heifers that need some assistance at calving time. So those are some pros and cons to having two calving seasons versus one. It's not going to be one size fits all. Give that some thought before you make some changes in your herd, but I thought it would be worth your time to think through the options that we have here in the southern plains. Hey, we look forward to visiting with you again next week on Sunup's Cow-Calf Corner.